Ladies and gentlemen, load up your lungs and your loyalties, cause riding into this arena tonight, here come the Gunslingers. You feel the chill when they walk through the air. One shot, dead silence, then a roar from the stands. They turn pressure into gold on demand, on demand. Here come the Gunslingers, hands high screaming name. Steel hearts, trigger fingers, they don't play, they claim. From the dust to the danger, they own this whole wide range. Here come the Gunslingers, let them bang, drop. Who's ready? Last stand, last breath. This is sudden death. Counting down now. 3, 2, 1, go! Here come the Gunslingers, hands high, scream the name. Steel hearts, trigger fingers, they don't play, they claim. From the dust to the danger, they own this whole wide range. Here come the Gunslingers, here come your Gunslingers. Let 'em bang, hey!
Yeah. How about that? Gunslingers posse. Woo! If that doesn't get you pumped up, I don't know what. You are asleep.
Major props. That is Richard Autry
Yes.
with a brand new song performed, recorded live for it. It's ours. He gave it as a gift to me, which is a gift to the team. And yeah, the Gunslingers song, Let 'em Bang.
I love it. Great stuff. And thank you very much to Ralph, Ralph, for letting us share that, and to Mr. Autry for a very impressive piece of work there.
Cousin to Gene, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Very cool.
Yes.
Very cool. Yeah. Well, this is I should say no G with the Z P-O-D. This is the Smoking Guns podcast, your premier and longest running podcast, I should say, that focuses on professional football in San Antonio, specifically covering the indoor football war. Speaking of that song getting hyped, the football war that our San Antonio Gunslingers do battle in for the IFL. This is Leo Yamas sitting in. Thank you very much, Mr. Ralph Judkins, joining me for this episode.
I'm filling in for Phil, so you can just call me the fill-in.
Yep. I'm happy to have you. Thanks for joining. Unfortunately, we do not have Mr. Philip Higginbotham, my usual co-host, or RC Woods. They both have some obligations that kept them from joining us on this episode, but that's okay. Philip in the comments already joining us on the road as he's driving to find a banger of a start to the show. He says, "Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We did that, Philip. You did not. You were not part of that. That was all Ralph and Leo."
Well, I didn't sing the
and
song. I didn't
and
write the
Richard
song. That's
Autry. Thank you
Richard
very much.
Autry.
Richard
Thank you very
Autry,
much.
actually, he did everything. We just sat here and banged our heads and got hype. Yes, very, very cool. Had to bring that in for our intro and play the song in its entirety for all of our followers, our listeners to hear. Great song.
Now,
Um,
Leo, we could make this a download available because I sent
ooh,
it to you. There is no restriction on who we share that with and share the love and share the hype. So I guess reach out to
nice.
Leo in some platform and yes, yes, James, it is going to be a heck of an intro. I'm trying to get, if the team's interested, it is available. It is free. It was recorded for this team by Richard Autry, and he just wants people to know that, yeah, he did it. But other than that, yeah, it's open range, open license for the Gunslingers.
Very, very cool. And what better time to get hype about the San Antonio Gunslingers than this week after our very first win of the season? Man, it feels good to get off the schneid, as they say, and get that first dub in our pockets and ready to get locked and loaded as we move forward. But I mean, talk about a good week for the Gunslingers to finally get that win. Ralph, just give me your thoughts on that and what you think about the first win of the 2026 season for our Gunslingers.
Well, we started fast, and it seemed like the Arizona Rattlers, Northern Arizona Rattlers from Prescott, were a bit rattled. And I was kind of surprised by this because Ron James, 2 times AFL Coach of the Year, knows how to
Wranglers.
bring a squad of the Wranglers to come in, and uh, this was legit. This was legit. They had to swap out. Yeah, I said Wranglers. What did I say? It doesn't matter who I said. I said the wrong. I messed up. Okay, Chase, I messed up. Give me a break.
It's okay.
Yeah, nervous. I haven't been on the air in a while, so I don't know.
Hey, Rattlers, Wranglers, they're both in Arizona, and
Yeah,
they're both inferior to the
Naz
San
T,
Antonio. Yeah,
Naz T, the Naz T Wranglers. Naz T. Yeah. I was worried about them, but they came in with a new quarterback. They had gone through a controversy with their quarterback, and bang, bang, step on the field. Terry Beckner drills low and takes him out of the game. That was rather exciting.
mm,
Ooh, we got him on their back heel. The guy they brought in was Ramon, the guy that they actually had benched coming into the game. And we had 2 possessions. We went up 2 possessions early, and the Gunslingers did the one thing that, my heart's beating, did not let off the gas, did not let them back in the game, took the game and controlled the game. Yeah, and Philip, yeah, you're right. It wasn't necessarily pretty, but win's a win. And man, we are so glad to not have the goose egg. It's a win in conference. We're 1-2 in conference, 1-3 overall. Oh, yes.
yeah,
It's
and
very
it's just
important.
yeah, it's great for the confidence of the fan base, for the confidence of the team, of Coach Bain, of these new young players. That defense, I have to say, you mentioned the defense and just not letting off the gas. That defense was just, I mean, foot on throat the entire game. The Wranglers did not manage um, a a touchdown score until very, very late in the game.
It didn't
The
matter.
It didn't matter by that point. No, no, no. The defense was just incredible, and we'll talk a little bit about what we saw on the field during this latest Gunslingers victory. But just what this team, what this win means to this team, I cannot emphasize enough. You start 0-3. Some of these guys never played a single game of indoor football in their lives before this. Buying into a system, buying into a new approach, a theory, you would say, and not getting the results that you hope for, but also playing a pretty difficult stretch to start the season.
Top of the table. I mean,
Yeah.
we got no breaks, and it was kind of hard to put together a crowd. It was flipping fiesta. Thanks, league. Appreciate the assistance with the scheduling there. But yeah, okay. So we've gotten through this, and as y'all said last week, we could be 3-3 with a couple more wins and a bit more optimism. It's going to be difficult to go to Tucson, but we can get that in Tucson, and that's down the road. We'll look forward in a later segment.
Yeah, for sure. You could see just the excitement in the comments right now from the fans. Philip chiming in, defense allowed only 3 scoring possessions by Naz. I'll take that kind of defensive performance any day. Yes, sir, especially in the indoor brand of football. Like, that just doesn't happen. And coming off last week's loss against a very, very good Las Vegas team. I still don't know what a freaking Nighthawk is, by the way. But a loss in which we gave up a season high in points, and the defense was kind of on its heels the entire game. To come back with a response like this, I don't care what the opponent looks like on the other side of the line of scrimmage. You can only play what's in front of you. And a lot of times when you have a performance where you allow a score every single possession, like the Gunslingers did the prior week, and then they come into this week and the confidence is obviously high. They obviously didn't let that bother them. They dug in, got to work, and turned in their most impressive performance of the season. A very good season for the San Antonio Gunslingers defense, I might add. This was kind of their ultimate performance to this point. And as you mentioned earlier, Ralph, we're going to have to keep the pressure on in the following weeks to kind of try and make a move in the standings here now that we got that win behind us.
If we can cause problems, there was a comment by Chris Martinez, if you can throw that one up. I guess we can talk about the defense. We're hoping, folks, that Jonathan Bain joins us so he can celebrate and take take us through what the season has been like and what the win meant. Because as I was talking with the team pregame, they were very much convinced that they were close in the 2 games and they got away. Jimerson, incredible play by Jalen Jimerson. Talked with him pregame. This was, ladies and gentlemen, his indoor football debut, and what a line he had in his first.
You couldn't
game.
tell.
Yeah, four tackles, 3 solos, had a credit on a sack and an interception. And we already mentioned Terry Beckner with 4 tackles, 2 solos, had 2 tackles for a loss. Jimerson had 1 for a loss as well, and knocked out their starting quarterback Lowe in the second possession as he gets back on the field after throwing a pick 6, or the scoop and score rather on the fumble. Getting back on the field and just getting absolutely rocked by Terry Beckner, and that just took him out of the game. And that just very difficult. It's very difficult on the road, very difficult to lose your starting quarterback, because there goes your game plan. And to quote Mike Tyson, everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the mouth. And
that's
Beckner,
right.
Beckner delivered that punch big time.
Yeah, big time. Very impressive performance by Beckner. You mentioned Jimerson earlier in his first game, and then Ravarius Rivers from the get-go with the scoop and score. to get our first points on the defensive side of the field. It's always a great thing. We all know this game is about possessions and
Yep.
who can score the most on those possessions. Talk about when you're starting off on defense and you end up putting points on the board on that defensive possession. I mean, you can't ask for a better
That's the
start than that.
worst. Yeah, it's the absolute worst for the team that loses the ball to lose the possession and get the score, give up the score immediately, and you're right back out there on offense again, and you're facing the same guys, and the other offense is on the bench saying, "Hey, thanks guys, appreciate the points."
Yeah, yeah, no kidding. Now, offensively, we're giving our roses to the defense. The offense, as Jason Wood here, defense says defense is great. Offense is still struggling, especially with scoring within the 10-yard line.
Oh boy, are you
That's
right?
a big point. Yeah, definitely right there. The offense. Now, this was the first game from start to finish that we had for quarterback Fred Payton Jr. And if Coach Bain comes on later, we might talk about that a little bit. But the offense, it was kind of like a Jekyll and Hyde thing. There were moments where you saw some impressive play, but there were a lot of key moments, especially in goal to go situations, that just have to get better. I've harped a little bit over the last couple of weeks on our efficiency on third down and fourth down. That wasn't much better this week. I think we were what was it, 2 of 7
Yeah,
on
two
third
for
down
seven.
efficiency.
We also held them to 2 for 8. We conceded no fourth down conversions, but we failed twice on fourth down ourselves. And as you said, in the red zone, we were kind of dead. There was no
Mm-hmm.
redemption. Red Dead Redemption. 1 for 5 in red zone chances. We held them to 1 for 2. Uh, yeah, yeah, we can definitely get better. But I'll say this
Room for
about Peyton.
improvement.
Yeah, there's room for improvement. And on Peyton's completion rate, now he was 10 for 21. I have taken a lot of statics since the NAL days about saying if you've got a 50% completion rate as a quarterback in this game, that's actually adequate. Absolutely adequate. 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions by Peyton. Okay, we can do better, but flip it over the other way. What a number the secondary did on Atkins, 6 for 18 with 2 interceptions, no touchdowns. So a great stand there. And I agree with Coach Humphrey. Absolutely. You can't win a lot of games if you only get 35 points. Absolutely agree with you,
Mm-hmm.
Coach. Unless your defense is this freaking good.
The
But
Thank goodness for this
yeah.
defense. Yeah. Thank goodness for this defense. That's really what's kept us competitive in the prior weeks and helped us pull off the win this week. But yeah, definitely, stuff to work on and grow on that offense, primarily the red zone offense. We still haven't quite found that guy that when we're in a critical situation on offense or we need to convert or we need to get a score, that will kind of just put this team on their shoulders. I mean, if you look at up and down on the performance of the offense, Dion Cook stands out. He had his best game, I think, as a professional so
He had
far.
five receptions, 84 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Um,
I
uh,
but here's what I'll tell you on that, Leo. I'm almost looking at, yeah, and as James Palmer said, Cook definitely came through in the clutch for us multiple times. I gotta say, it may not be that guy. It may be those guys. Phillips said he wants to see Fred run more, that he's dangerous with his feet,
mhm,
and that might create opportunities. Uh, I like how Peyton runs. He runs with confidence. He makes a
definitely.
decision, and yeah, he's able to do that, and that may be making us the guy. I remember a couple years ago with the Panthers, you had a threat in the quarterback when everyone was covered. If there was an opening, you'd have to concede the yards because you had to drop both linebacker and safety, maybe pull the defensive ends into the flat to cover against a passing attack. that opens up the field. And Peyton exploited that multiple times in this game.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. We may have a weapon. We may have a weapon there, and we may have a crew of people to pass the ball to.
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely a receiving core, not just a
Yes.
single receiver out there. You like to have that. You like to have that weapon that is just every quarterback kind of has their go-to, their guy that they look for in certain situations, and yeah, we're probably not there yet with any single guy, but Dion Cook has definitely made some really impressive plays and catches, like Chris Martinez says, just going up and grabbing the ball. He's made some spectacular catches. Last week, I think he made a couple of spectacular catches for touchdowns in the end zone. I personally would like to see a little bit more of getting him the ball and showing us what he can do and being that much more of a weapon, a little bit more in the air. The running game, I didn't even realize, Ralph, we talked a little bit before the show. I didn't even realize that KJ Smith was injured. They talked about it in the broadcast. He had been pretty solid up to this point. And the broadcast, they said he was injured. But enter next man up. Was it Shen Butler Lawson, who I thought did a very good job as a RB1 in this game.
Yeah,
so go ahead.
Butler Lawson had a completion and had 9 carries, 18 yards. Didn't have any great long ones, but was there. And more importantly, as somebody mentioned earlier, we did not have a fumble on the exchange, which has been
very important.
Absolutely eating our lunch.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely eating our lunch.
Yeah, we definitely cleaned that up a bit, which is really nice to see. Still a little bit of the turnover bug. We had a couple of interceptions. I think we had a couple of fumbles, but we didn't lose. No fumbles lost for the game. So that's definitely great to see and important, because you got to win that turnover battle, which we did. 3 interceptions by our defense and the fumble recovery, scoop and score. Great performance by the defense for sure. James Palmer mentioning here injury scare last game also with Cook. I kind of my heart stopped for a second there, seeing him kind of hobble off that one play.
Yes.
But then he came back later in the game and actually did some things in the game after that, so he seemed to be fine. We'll ask Coach Bain about that later, what his thoughts are on Cook and how he's doing. Jason Wood. Shout out to Tyler Huddle for the 40-ish yard field goal. No, Jason, not 40-ish.
Too low.
Higher. 54 yards for Tyler Huddle.
Just below that, James Palmer said it's 53-54.
Yeah.
Just remember, guys, real fast calculation. It's how I did it I was doing stats. I was actually helping Spot with stats. The maximum you got if you're kicking from your own goal line is 58, and it was spotted. Chase says it's 54. Actually, okay,
53. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I thought the ball was spotted on the 4, Chase, so that would be 54.
I could swear. I mean, not to argue, but I see Tyler Huddle on the IFL website. It's officially in the stat line. He's 2 of 2 for field goals, with the long being 54.
Mom said.
Oh, Mom. I won't argue with Mom ever. Anybody that wants to argue with Mom, feel free. It's your funeral.
Yeah, Mom's right underneath Chase in the comments here on Facebook already with the facts. So factually, actually, Chase, 54 according to Mom. So, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Alex, what is his longest field goal? Because Alex is saying his
Alex
McSwain
saying not his longest. Yeah, I will tell you, he was great. 2 field goals. Unfortunately, he did miss a couple of, surprisingly. I shouldn't say unfortunately, I say surprisingly, he missed a couple of extra points this game, but he made up for it more so with those field goals. Our thicker kicker, and you can't call him the thickest kicker, because Naz definitely beats us in that category with the thickest kicker. Nestor Manuel Higuera. Now
Yes.
they got their own thicker kicker over there. You could call him the thickest kicker if you want. Me, because of I'm also of the Big Panza Club, and so we can say these things, but as my Mexican heritage, my Spanish background, I saw him and immediately came up with a Spanish nickname for him, Puro Panza y Pata, which means all belly and foot, roughly translated. Which my wife Loli, she loved that one. But yeah, definitely great to see Tyler out there getting those field goals. April Marie Trotter, look at this. Leo, your granddaughter saying Tyler Huddle was so cute. So Loli's posted something on her Facebook where she was getting our granddaughter. She's 18 months and just starting to talk and say things, and she has her going, Tyler Huddle, Tyler Huddle. It's adorable. But yeah, longest in the season so far, says Mom, and something definitely to be very proud of. Speaking of being proud of this win and of these guys, we have someone joining us
Okay.
that should be very proud. And we need to offer some congratulations to uh, Coach Bain joining the show once again. I'm going to bring him on and we can get his thoughts on the first win of the season for the San Antonio Gunslingers. Welcome, Coach Bain. Thanks for joining us. Guns up, baby, and congratulations on your first career win as a head coach in the IFL.
I appreciate that, fellas. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate y'all.
How does it feel to get that finally get that win, that elusive win so far? What's going through your mind and your heart right now, knowing that you finally got that in your belt?
I felt really good, right? I love it for the city of San Antonio, the organization in general, all the stuff that goes on behind the scenes. I don't care what level you're at in any game, especially at the pro level. Winning stuff, right? Winning stuff, and we haven't been doing that this year, but was really proud of the guys because we really challenged them. After that Las Vegas butt whooping, I'll say the biggest point made was just challenge them as pros, as men, and everything else, just to be their best self each and every day. Don't worry about Saturday. Don't even think about Saturday until you dominate Monday through Friday, right? Let's keep score there. Monday through Friday, did we get better? And last week, by the longest shot, which I didn't know how to take it. It was kind of frustrating that I hadn't seen that kind of effort and execution throughout practice since the first day we got here. But that was by far the best week of practice I had seen as a gunslinger in my year last year or anything. I mean, how they competed each and every day, held each other accountable. Just it was awesome. And I preached to them all year. You take care of Monday through Friday. Saturday will take care of itself, right? Give what you got, the get will come. And for that to work out the way it did, just super proud of them. And then it gives them a sense of confidence, and a sense of, they put in the work and then it was rewarded. So really cool from that standpoint. I keep telling everybody I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer, but very far from my expectations as far as where I want to be with this team, offensively specifically. Just too many missed opportunities, too many self-inflicted things happening, especially in the red zone, which is the most important part of the field. And I feel like we have them really dialed up down there. In every game we played, I love the red zone. I knew early in my career that's where you just playing quarterback. That's where you make your mark. You can almost pull a guy off the street to throw 2 hitch routes that end up inside the 10. But what do we do when we're down there? So I do take a lot of pride in that. But I'll be better, whatever it is. I tell them every day, if I see something, I mean, it don't mean anything if I'm not getting it through to you to see it like I see it. I never wanted to be that coach. Oh, well, we had guys wide open and we just didn't go there. Well, there's some kind of miscommunication with me and the guys. So I'm, turning over every stone. We're going to get it figured out. I promise you that. But yeah, just not up to the expectations on that side of the ball. Defense came out and played well. That defensive line is a problem. for a lot of people, which then results and not to take away from the secondary, but I even told y'all when y'all first got me on this offseason, you know, I spent all my time on that, to be honest with you, was the fronts. Unfortunately, we lost 3 offensive linemen this season, 2 to the UFL, and then another guy moved on to a different league. But not to just blame or point them out, but we're struggling right there right now. Just being honest, we are struggling up front. I'm sick of you're on the half-yard line. This is now back-to-back weeks, and you go under center, and you can't even, you know, successfully get a, you know, QC exchange going. And it's something we work literally for 30 to 45 minutes before every single practice, before we even go into stretching lines. It's worked on. Can't happen. It's a non-negotiable. You know, it's going to be fixed, even if we got to make some changes there. But yeah, it's just not been really good play. You know, and shout out, you know, with Peyton, I know y'all with the quarterback situation, you know, bringing in Peyton against Vegas, they're just kicking our butts up front. And I'm sorry, you know, Peyton just gives us more and, you know, moving around and being able to escape. You saw it in the Vegas game. You saw it in the third play from third play from line of scrimmage. We had a penalty, a run, and then that, just how he opened up the game. So what he brings to us in that aspect, but we got to be better up front. And it's not an excuse, but O-linemen are hard to find. The good ones are somewhere. I promise you that. They are the hardest thing in the world to find. And when you lose your 3 penciled-in starters,
no doubt,
start off kind of behind the 8 ball there. So they're getting better every week, though, but still not near where we need to be, and especially on the execution side of things down there. And kind of the missed opportunities, right? 2 drives before half, we get down there, drop a wide open touchdown in the end zone. Then we get the ball back. Defense gets it back. We work the clock, I think, almost to perfection, right? You call the timeout with 8 seconds left.
Yep.
I don't care who says what. Deion Cook is the best rookie receiver, most talented rookie receiver I've ever seen. I've been around 12 years, and I get to see him every day, right? But we want to give him a chance, right? It's us or nobody ball. Who cares? It's harmless in my mind. I'm thinking it's the most harmless call on the field. I'm like, you can't mess this up. And just smallest DB in the league, right? He's a 5'6" DB, us or nobody. And we threw it to somebody other than us. And that's just a gut punch, right? And I know we were up and all the good things, but it's what I went and preached to the offense was, you know, that was indoor football, right? A chance to be indoor football. You score with this 2 drives left in the half. You score right there, and then you get the ball coming out of half. That's a 21-point swing. And then you talk about foot on the throat, them having to do things that they're not comfortable doing to try to get, you know, make a comeback. And now our defensive line can pin their ears back and our DBs can sit back. I mean, it's a game changer. And, man, I was sick. And that's why, you know, I'm so happy about the win. Please don't ever, you know, mistake me for that. But – my goodness, I'm thankful for it, but we got a long way to go. But we're also right there, if that makes sense. You know, we're a few little plays away, few little errors away. And I'm so big, right? An offensive guy, so huge on just landmarks on the field. Your field's only so big, right? And especially in the red zone, there's people everywhere. But you know, just things I learned over the years from some of the great coaches I played for. Where the landmarks of where routes end up, why you end up there based on what coverage they're in. It just maximizes the availability of the small space that's there. And going back and watching film, and it's no knock on them, but y'all may not know this, there were 2 wide receivers played for us that practiced 2 days. We had just signed them. Practiced 2 days. Another one had never played in a game in his life. So we went out there kind of, you know, with some young bucks. And it kind of showed, right? Just different things, like I say, where I preach those landmarks and how important they are. But you know what? With a win, too, I tell them you still got to learn from all the stuff. Don't let a win cover up all the mistakes. And we were able to get in there on film and show them exactly, you know, maybe you get tired of hearing me say end up on this hash mark. And maybe in your brains, you're like, well, what does it matter if I'm 1 yard in, 1 yard? Well, guess what? Now I can show you why I say what I say. Now I can show you. So you weren't learning by me telling you or showing you on the field. Now you can see when the bullets are flying, if you would have been here where wide open it would be, you know. And so part of that learning curve, right? But no, really proud of the guys. I told them they have now shown me where we can be. I'm talking weekly, right? Saturdays, they're very important, right? But Saturday means nothing if we don't take care of the week. It's kind of you get out what you put in thing. And so knowing where the standard was last week for practice, I told them, well, there's nothing. I mean, it'll be a quick call out when I see anybody below that standard they set last week. You know, the execution thing's going to come. That's on me. I'll make sure it happens, and whatever, you know, avenues I got to take to make that happen. But overall, just really, really proud of the guys, and they answered the challenge, right? Just challenging them every day. You know, it was a rough week for us. I'll be honest. I try to be, you know, the most smiley, happy guy all the time. I believe in that too, right? Even when things are bad, though. You know, when things are bad, I want them to be able to trust me and know that I'm not just always harping on them. That way, whenever I do need to harp on them and get their attention, they respect it. But last week was a rough week around the facility. It was, I just told them there's not a lot of time for hee ha ha right now. There just ain't. You know, we ain't earned that yet. I'm not saying don't enjoy what you do, but if you're enjoying losing, you're in the wrong business. We're not cut out for each other. Me and you ain't cut it out for each other if it's just okay to lose and fun. But then again, you know, respecting our opponents those first 3 weeks, and you know, coulda, woulda, shoulda came out with one for sure, but two, the other one, I just felt we matched up really well with Arizona. You know, schematically, I really do. There's a lot of drop touchdowns and missed opportunities, but I'm not into that game either. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. They beat us. I don't care if it was by 5 or 55. They all feel the same, and but really proud how they answered the call this week.
Yeah, Coach, definitely mirror the feeling and the sentiment, and talking to fans and seeing some of the comments. I think we're all right there with you. Proud of our guys for this win. Really impressed with the defense. Some things to work on and build on the offense. Fred Payton Jr., first full game as a San Antonio Gunslinger. So that was one of the questions I had for you.
Yes,
go ahead and give us your report card on all things considered, the struggles up front that we know we've talked about and we've seen, but give us your report card on Fred. You've talked about what he brings to the team on his first full game as a Gunslinger.
Yeah, Fred's a great leader for one. Fred, we named Fred the starting quarterback coming out going into the first game. And that wasn't just by default. He earned it. I'm just being honest. All of his peers voted him. I didn't have a say in the captain. I don't believe in that. Coaches don't have a say. Voted on by your peers. What peers? Who do y'all think are the leaders of this group? And it was by a large margin. You know, so they loved what he brought to the table as a leader. And after he got his feet wet with the offense and everything, he just started rolling. You know, he really did. And we don't have to harp on it too much, but he comes in and that first game, and if you remember, he moved the ball right down the field, and he actually makes the perfect read and goes to throw the ball. Well, it slips and goes to a guy in center field guarding nobody, and it's an interception, right? And I know to the naked eye and fans and stuff, like, what is he thinking? What is he doing? You know, you can't find another clip like that, right, where it's just what he did. Ball slipped out of his hands, but I'm a big no excuse guy to play with these same type of footballs, right? You got to find a way, whatever that means. And throws a pick, and then goes out the next drive and missed open touchdown. Ball fluttered out of his hand, kind of just killed it in midair, you know. And then on a big fourth down, had a guy running open, and he decided to tuck and run because of the football, right? He told me in his head, he said, Coach, I just ain't comfortable with the football. I said, well, I can't have you playing quarterback, like feeling like that. I understand. If anybody does, I promise I do. But at some point, it can't be a factor. Like, I can't have you not throwing passes because the ball's slick. So we made the change, and Colosso came in and played really well. But you saw again with him, fumbling the end zone when we have Deion Cook running wide open for a 45-yard touchdown. You know, the balls were slick. Now they both wear gloves, so no excuses there. But then,
notice the gloves.
The way Colosso came in, and Colosso's great, man. I love Colosso. We have a really good situation in the quarterback room. I don't think there's a team in the league that has a 1 and 1A and 1B like we do, you know. And they're great teammates, but Colosso came in, played well enough to, I think, get the nod against Arizona. And then, you know, you go into Arizona and everything's graded, right? My feelings are not involved in any of this. Zero. And, you know, I just think there was a lot left out there in Arizona, especially against a team that just plays pure man. You got two motion men, pick one of them, you know, and I'm not trying to be harsh about it, but it's the truth. Two motion men, pick one of them. We got the advantage. That's or indoor football. Just some missed opportunities out there. Played well, though, you know, but just some missed opportunities. And then, like I said, this whole time, Peyton has chose to just continue to be the leader. He's Joaquin's biggest supporter when he's out there and vice versa. Like I said, it's a really good situation to be in with them. And Fred's just earned it. He's played hard, you know, and sure. I mean, I was on his tail today, right? We watched the game film today with the guys. Peyton, you know, left a lot out there this week. That's why I mentioned about Deion Cook right now should have about 15 touchdowns on the season if we'd get him the ball when he's wide open. You know, we dialed 2 of them up this week, this past game, and dialed up for him, and then somehow the ball just didn't end up going his way, and he's screaming down the field. One of them was a 40-yard gain. We ran a fake crack and go, and we ended up going elsewhere, and it was an incompletion. And it just, those are the ones as a coach, you scratch your head. You're like, we dialed it up. Let me be wrong, you know? That's what I told him today. I can accept it. Let me be wrong on that instance if we dial one up. But, no, guys, a lot of guys, you know, like I say, it's not an effort thing by any means. Not an effort thing. You don't see any lack of effort out there at all. It's a lack of execution thing. But there's no excuses for it. We practice it every day. We're going to get it right, you know. And then this week we get back Glenn Gibbons, Deion McShane, who's been a spark plug for us this season. So we'll have a lot different group of guys going into this game down there in Tucson, with guys familiar with what we do, know what we do, have played in this, veteran type mentalities. And I think you'll see a difference in that. That's not throwing any shade at the guys that have been playing. They've done a really good job for us. But I'll be the first to tell you, living and learning it, this is a whole different game than outside. Whole different game. And if it's you've only been here 2 days, well, I promise you ain't learning all this game in 2 days. Not to get ready to go, you know, be your best self out there. So we're excited for them guys, though, and the growth. You know, ain't no better learn than just be thrown in the fire sometimes too. So. I think they all learned a lot this week, but we'll be able to get some of our key guys back for Tucson.
Well, Coach, you mentioned execution. I've got a couple of questions from our viewers here that I'm going to throw at you before I let Ralph continue. I know he's got a couple of things to ask of you. But Chris Martinez first asking about that execution on the goal line. Anything specific that you're seeing that you want to work on or change that you could talk about? And then secondly, Hollywood talking a little bit about some things that has been noticed on the field as far as quarterback getting the play, getting back to the line of scrimmage, and us preventing some of the delay of game calls that we've seen.
No, we actually don't. And he don't have to run over. And it's not to point fingers. Hey, I'll take the blame, Miss Holly. But no, it's too much talking going on in the huddle. Rule number 1, I gave everybody on offense. Rule number 1, there's only one voice in the huddle. One voice, and that's the quarterback. We got a couple guys right now that feel the need to talk when they feel they want to talk, and that's what causes that, right? Because when the quarterback's trying to deliver the play and this guy's trying to give his spiel of what is going on in his world, that's how that happens, right? And then that 25 seconds turns to no seconds really quick. And if y'all are wondering, I'm sorry if y'all want to run me out of here. I'm not calling a timeout for a delay of game. I just will not do it. I'm not going to waste a timeout for a 5-yard penalty. If you're on the goal line, it actually backs you up, gives you a little more room, but it's not worth it as much as them timeouts mean to you at the end of each half. So, but yeah. So if you are wondering why I'm not freaking out when the play clock's running down, I'm freaking out. I'm mad, but I'm not going to call a timeout and burn one there. But yeah, it's a little bit of everything, right? A few times the mic went out. That's, I guess, the downside. And I don't know if it's out if I'm talking until he turns around and throws his hands up. But that's the con to having the communications in the helmet is that it could, it's technology, so it could go out any second. But yeah, I mean, yeah, we need to clean that up. But like I said, we addressed that, made it a pretty serious talk today about no talking in the huddle, 0, no non-negotiable, right? I have some non-negotiables out here that we do, and that's one of them. But we'll clean that up, though, and make it for a better, just a better product out there for y'all. And then the first one was on the goal line.
Yeah, the goal line. Anything specifically that you could talk about or that you want to work on, or is it just
Yeah, I want to work
execution
on the
and just
quarterback center exchange.
yeah.
Call me old school, call me what you want. I think this game should be played under center, right? As a quarterback, you never take your eyes off the defense. It's the most secure play in football, supposed to be the quarterback center exchange. You don't have to worry about a bad snap, a slick ball, and none of that. For some reason, and I'm not going to get into it, it's been a topic of conversation in our coach's office. Yeah, we just can't seem to get the snap down there. And but why back up 5 yards away from the line of scrimmage to run the play when you're on the half-yard line? Why not? I'm sorry, in football 101, if I can't get half a yard, there's something wrong. Something wrong with the product. And that's where I'm saying, like, if you know, it's pro ball. I believe in keeping your group of guys together. That's how you build the chemistry in it. But at the end of the day, we need more out of a few positions right now. We just do. And they know this. I'm not talking about them. Everybody knows this. That's how this game goes. That's how I operate. That's what I went through, right, in the professional world. So they got to deliver on that end. But I don't have no magic potion or nothing, anything like that, or no magic plan other than I promise you, had we got them snaps last week and this week, it's a touchdown. But the big but is it wasn't. So no woulda, coulda, shoulda. But we got to get the quarterback center exchange. So now instead of 30 minutes, they got 30 before, 30 after. So you got to fall in love with the small things, man. You got to fall in love with the things that you may think are boring, the fundamental things of football, because that is where the games are won and lost. It really is. The big things are going to come natural because you're an athlete and, you know, all the different things, right, all the intangibles you bring to the game. But you have to execute the small details in order to even give yourself a chance at the other stuff. So it is preached, and I promise it will get better.
Yeah, it's you bring up a good point. Snaps under center isn't something you see a whole lot of in this game, in the indoor football game, but indoor football league. But it's good to know. You know, you see the result of having to use that and working on it, and I'm sure it'll be better in the next go around. Ralph, we talked a little bit going into the show about, you know, learning a lot of things this season, being, you know, having new young players and having a first year coach. So Ralph had some questions regarding that, and you, Coach Bain.
Absolutely. I mean, Coach Bain and I know each other. We worked together last year and even before then. So I guess I'll call this under the cap or under the headset with Coach Bain. Coach, what was easier than you expected it to be about taking on and doing the head coach job so far this season? What surprised you that this wasn't as hard as I thought it would be? Because everything, having never done it before, you don't know. What seemed easier than you expected?
Honestly, because coaching, right, and I've got asked this a few times, not in this exact manner, but I would say I didn't think it was going to be hard, the hard part, but like, you know, just managing a team, right? You got at camp 40 different personalities. Now we got 25, 26, you know, with the injured list, adding a few, right? But I've had to do that, right, my whole life, at least how I approach the game as a quarterback. Like, it was my job because I still believe this, right? The great teams are player-led, and I mean that, yes, coaches lead the whole thing, but there's 4 or 5 of us. There's 26 of them. We can say, do, we can draw up, scheme. Now, it's funny, I talk to my former coaches sometimes, and I'm like, now I know what y'all are saying when you can draw up everything and people are running wide open and it don't execute, and you're like, what, you know. But at the end of the day, though, it's player-led, right? If you got the right core and the guys that believe in what you're trying to, you know, the standard you have, the, you know, everything you're trying to get out of this, if they're able to do that within the locker room, which was my job as a player, that's how you win championships, right? Because I've won them and then I lost them. So I've seen a little bit of both. And I've seen that was the common denominator. It truly was. You know, the one we lost, or one of the ones we lost, was probably a more talented team than the ones we won. But it was just that. So I would say it's kind of felt the same. Honestly, I treat it the same. And anybody that knows me, like, it's funny, like a Christoph Page, right? He was my teammate as when I played.
Right.
Now I'm his coach. And I just sometimes pick his brain. He's like, man, you're the same guy, because I was, man. I'm all about having a good time and enjoying where you're at, right? Be where your feet are. This is a blessing. I always tell them we don't have to, we get to. And that's still me. But even as a quarterback, when things weren't going right and we weren't executing, or when things weren't up to the standard of whatever the standard was, well, it's not so hee ha ha and everybody just laughing and giggling and cutting up. It was business, you know. But I learned throughout my years that was the best way to tap into somebody else, you know, in a sense of getting them to respect when you do have a problem. You know, I didn't like those coaches that were just rah rah all the time, you know, just, you know, and I grew up in that, right? I did. And I've got a lot of respect from the coaches I grew up on, you know, playing for. But there comes a time, and not just me, but just other people around. And that's the thing about coaching is you don't coach everybody the exact same. You don't talk to everybody the exact same, right? You have the same standard for everybody. That doesn't change. But I may tell you something, Leo, to get through to you different than I would Ralph, different than I would Philip, you know, as long as it's all the same, you know, coming together for the same purpose, you know, that's how you do it. So that's, I guess that if that answers your questions. I thought maybe it might be, you know, a little tougher now because I was warned, like, oh, good luck, you know. But I also at the same time had it in the back of my mind, like, that's the part I'm looking forward to most. Like, that's where I feel I'm the most experienced, you know. Where I'm not experienced, okay, whenever we had to make a trade, I have to sign what piece of paper where and send it to who, you know, now that, but, you know, show me once, I got it, now we're good to go. But I really have felt really good and comfortable in this role. Not comfortable losing, you know, our first 3 games, but as far as just, you know, being blessed with this opportunity, it's everything I've wanted. I feel, you know, looking back on my career, always hindsight, it kind of was groomed to do this. I didn't know how soon, but even whenever I applied for the job and was talking, you know, that was the biggest thing brought up by the front office was, you have no head coach experience. I was like, I understand that, but you know, I got to have it at some point. There's got to be somebody take a chance on me. And I've had a pretty unique career where I've been my own offensive coordinator for multiple years. You know, 4 years out of my career, I was my own offensive coordinator. So calling plays, I wasn't too worried about that. And then people don't even know this. I ended my career at the AFL as the head coach. Our head coach got fired with 2 games left, and I was the head coach. People do not know that.
Well,
yes.
No.
That was with the
I scheduled
Mammoths.
practice. I scheduled everything from top to bottom.
That was Maine.
No, the Desert Hawks, West Texas Desert Hawks, 2024.
The D-Hawks. Yeah, okay.
True story. But anyways, like, and in the moments, right, I'm like losing my mind in those instances because I'm like, man, I just want to play football, you know, like,
right.
And these weird situations come on. But I'm a believer in the big man upstairs, the good Lord. You know, he kind of puts you through things and you don't know why, and then boom, you turn around and here I am as a head coach, and it's like, how cool is that though, man? Because when I was so frustrated and like, what in the world's going on? Why am I having to do this? And it just all worked out good. So, I mean, I actually feel really good about it. I'm far from perfect. I promise you one thing though, I'm going to get better every single day. That's all I can promise anybody. It's just how I wake up and choose life, right? You got to choose better, whatever that means. So, whether we were 4-0 or 1-3, that would never change. I promise you that. So I think with that mindset and with the, you know, the staff I got around me, the players I got around me, just the organization, I think it has no choice but to be successful, if I'm being honest. But like I say, control what we can control. That's our give of who I am as a person, who I am as a coach, in every aspect of my life, as a friend, as a brother, as a fiance, as a, you know, anything, a son. And then the get's going to come. But in reality, we're in zero control of that get. You know, we're in absolutely zero control of the get. You can live your best life and whatever, and then something could happen out of your control. And then what? So it's a failure? No. I don't believe in keeping score that way, but I also think the score takes care of itself when you do it that way. So that's the motto. I fail daily, right, as a human, but I promise you it is the focal point of every morning I wake up is just to choose better. And I think the guys are doing that as well. And I'm really excited to see this thing start, you know, turning in the right direction.
Well, I'll ask one follow-up question because I actually had what was harder, what was easier, what was harder, and we've run that run to the ground. What is the single hardest thing that is just absolutely stunned you that was so hard to do so far in your journey? because I know what's coming next. We both know in the sufficiency of God in our lives. I mean, you're an exemplar of this. What has been the thing that you just found was the absolute hardest?
As the head coach, I would say, sorry, I'm so stunned because nothing's been just like, holy crap, this is taking me out, you know? Well, right now, I guess the hardest would be finding offensive linemen. No, but seriously, I mean, the player, because I
Hey,
actually enjoyed.
that's
I
a
was
fair
telling
answer.
him, I kind of had. It really is. I took on the role this year when I got the job. I love the player personnel side, right? So I thought that would be difficult, like really difficult. I thought, man, you know, how do I convince a team, a guy, a grown man, a professional at that, to come play for a guy that has zero head coaching experience? So I don't even want to say that because I think it went really well. I think we have really good Jimmys and Joes. I think we do.
The roster. I was watching.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I kept my mouth shut. I knew you were busy. I wasn't going to bug you for nothing. And then I see this, and it's like, okay, they're young, they're hungry, and I'm seeing names, and I know things looked good. And it's like, how good is it? Well, we're going to find out. And this is, I mean, Jonathan, this is the best dang defense I've seen the Gunslingers have ever had.
No doubt.
Guess what was hard for me in my career? A really, really good defense. So
And
guess what?
it.
It sounds funny, right? I'm the offensive coordinator and stuff, and that's whenever I hired Coach Goins. I always joke with him, like whenever we made that move to bring on Coach Goins. I mean, we had the whole defense. I said, hey, I think you're going to like what you're getting yourself into because, you know, it's funny. Like in the recruiting process, I really took into effect like D linemen. What type of D lineman gave me the most fits as a quarterback? You know, what type of DBs? What type of this? Okay, now on the offensive side, what kind of personnel did I like up front, you know, to match the scheme? Because my scheme is the same. Not saying that, you know, I'm trying to make the quarterbacks play like me, but I'm saying like what I felt was the most successful in a 11-year experience, you know. So I got a whole decade's worth of trial and error, right? Seeing the good, the bad, and the ugly. And so I would say that, though, I guess now is just managing the roster, right, with injuries, with losing guys to the UFL, this and that, especially at the O-line position. I'm actually learning new tactics every day. I'm trying out new things, and we're getting some buzz right now from some guys. The draft really kind of put us back. We have a lot of talent, and that's the kind of guys I want to recruit, though. Guys that are telling me, hey, coach, wait till after this draft and rookie free agent deal. If I don't get picked up, I'm on my way. Because I want them young, hungry guys. And I was telling in a former podcast was, you know, I like to go for the ones that were cut out of that league. Why? It's one or two things. It either lights a fire under them and they become their best self, and I get to try to help provide them a platform to do so. And I can kind of relate to those guys. I've had a very unique career, and I love not to share my story for a pat on the back, but more or less if it can help any young man in any journey. You know, adversity is adversity at the end of the day. It don't matter what it looks like. Your body don't know the difference. It just knows adversity and it's not. And if any way I can help guys overcome that and get whatever it is out of this life they want, that is why I do this. If you're wanting me to be completely honest, I think it kind of piggybacks on the wins come from that kind of stuff, right? And it's not that my goal ain't to win. Trust me, I'm the most competitive human you'll ever meet. But as I got older, the grand scheme of it is just trying to be the best human I can be and be the best I can be for others and to be able to maximize their potential by tapping into them and whatever, you know, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, to get the best out of them, right? And remind them why they do what they do. And I think, you know, the win is, of course, everybody's, you know, goal, right? It looks good, right? It keeps me hired or fired, right? You can't go on losing every game and keep a job, right? I do know the importance of it. But I also know I give myself the best chance at that if I'm getting the best out of my guys. So it's like my focal point is that to where, you know, I learned even as a player, if you're just worried about winning on Saturday, you're wrong. You ain't thinking about it the right way because there's a lot that goes into it to win. And you got to make sure you give yourself the best chance to do so. So I tell them, be where your feet are, focus on the task at hand every single day, let that come. And it will. And it will. And last week was a direct representation of it. Maybe not to the fan's eye or even to my eye, right? And we talk like to where I was like, man, that was just a clean football game. Do I feel like we dominated them? Sure. But I also can appreciate the process that went into that week and how the result came out in a win.
Mhm.
But so, yeah, I would say that's the main goal right now, and that's where I want to take this thing and everything I do in life. I hope it's coaching. I love this, man. You really couldn't tell me the difference if I was coaching it for the Dallas Cowboys or the Gunslingers, in a sense of level, because it's just what I feel for the game and the love I have for the game and helping guys. And fortunately, I was sitting on their side. I tell them every day, I've sat more on your side of the table than this one. So if anybody can relate to whether you're a year 1, year 2, year 5, year 10 player, we can relate in some sort. And I want to be able to help you out in any way to navigate through this and be your best self. So.
And I would say that any of the players that know your story, Coach, nobody's going to whine about adversity. No one's going to whine about what you had to overcome to play, because you can look them straight in the eye. And it's like, do you know who you're talking to? How bad do you really want this?
It does come down to that, though. It does. That's what I tell them every day. Are you hurt or are you injured? Which one is it? Are you uncomfortable? I promised them all the other day. I had too many nicks and knacks, and I respect injuries, right? I do, but too many like bumps and bruises that, I don't know if I can go today. And I said, well, I can. There's one thing I can guarantee: you will not be 100% since the day you pulled up to training camp. You will never see 100% again until the off season. So you got to make up your mind. But I also want a group of guys that are okay playing through the pain, playing through adversity. Oh no, I'm a little uncomfortable. Well, guess what? You got to just find a way to get it done. And just to peek, Ralph, that's how I treated it, man. That's how I treat life. That's how you got to, man. Because what can you do? I can sit and feel sorry for myself, or I could, find a way to get it done. The other one's more fulfilling, the second one there. So
okay, so for those who don't know, I'm just going to ask Coach one question. Coach, how many times did you learn to walk?
Twice. Really 2.5, but two full times. Lost my ability to walk in high school as a senior in a car accident, and then in 2024 my career ended. Well, I broke my neck in 23.
So that's 3 times.
3 times in a sense. 23 was a lot smoother. Yeah, I honestly, one day I want to share it. I don't know how to go about it. I want to share the story. I've never shared the video of me in just 2024. Right, this is 2 years ago. My career was ended on a spinal cord injury, a very severe one. And the first one was kind of announced in 23, right? But this second one in 24 was very, very scary. I mean, no arms, legs, that whole thing. And really, tied to a rope on the ceiling and doing all the different things. And I want to just for, inspiration in my testimony to people, how good God is, man. Yes. I had every doctor in the world tell me, every labeled physician, right? The studied physician tell me there was no way, no how, this was my new life, get used to it, yada, yada, yada. But the ultimate physician had a say in it. It was a tough time, but I tell you what, he made it a lot smoother for me, just honestly going through the stuff I've gone through in my life, so, but anyways, yes, the injuries have always seemed to find me somehow, some way. But you know what? Once again, it's adversity, and I promise you I wouldn't be who I am to this day right now. And no, I didn't make it to the NFL and all those things that I had set out to do. But I don't care. You know what? I really think it was seriously a blessing because I'm ready for whatever. I wake up every day with the same mindset. I faced a ton of adversity this year already, not just in the win and loss column, but who cares, right? At the end of the day, just being honest, like, let's keep rocking. Let's keep going. If I can help anybody in any way, that's my goal. And that's how we're going to do it.
You mentioned yourself. I'm sorry, Ralph.
No, I was just going to say, Coach knows that the sufficiency of the relationship with God, that everything else comes from that. Once you've accepted whatever it is you have is what he gave to you. If he adds more to you, if he takes away from you,
can take it right away too.
Because it's all the same. Give us this day our daily bread. That's it. That's all I ask for. Everything else I'm just going to do. And the rest is in God's hands. And that's it. Jonathan Bain is that guy. and we can talk about X's and O's. We can complain about things, but this is what we have. and it's good because God is good. I'm
Amen.
sorry, James. Sorry,
Amen.
Leo. I definitely wanted to make that point for those that, hey, you let me on here. This is the stuff I'm going to say.
Yeah, no, that's a great point to make, that, everybody needs to be aware. Everyone should be aware of, and it plays a big part in everybody's life, where you have a decision like that, or something happens in your life and you have to decide to either let whatever that challenge is define who you are moving forward, or if you rise above that and use that to do better and whatever it is that you're doing. Absolutely, 100%. um I was going to mention, Coach, because you mentioned avoiding injury, and I don't want to skip over some of the concerns of our listeners that have asked questions about uh, particular players, players in particular from the Gunslingers, concerning injury, because it's been a challenge for our guys this year so far. Um, Even maybe more so than prior years. But some of the names I saw specifically mentioned, that our listeners and our fans are concerned about, or if you have anything you can say. I know sometimes you can't, or
I ain't in
we
top
don't know what we
secret. I
don't
mean, I'm
know.
not going to break,
Yeah,
OSHA. I mean, not OSHA. I said OSHA.
yeah,
I'm not going to, spill all their. I'm used to the
right,
construction world. I'm not
right.
HIPAA. My bad. I'm not. But I'll
HIPAA,
shoot you straight, man. There's no.
yeah.
I'll tell you what I can tell you. Who you got?
So I've got the three names mentioned, and these are all major guys. I think we already know one, Dion Cook. There was a scary moment in the last game. And then Christoph Page, who I think you already mentioned earlier, and then KJ Smith were all asked about in the comments.
Okay. Dion Cook, man, poor guy. I know which injury he's going through. Part of I had one of those, was the whole, it's a knee bruise, right? And it's a bursa sac. It swells up. It's got all this fluid in it. It's nothing ligament wise, right? But every time you bump it, man, you think it is over with. So he just came down, landed on that same knee, poor guy. And that's how it started at practice, landed on his knee on that hard turf. And it's just, I mean, it's hard to explain. It's tough, though. It is a tough one. It'll put you down. But tough kid, like I said, that guy, he's been amazing for it. I can't speak enough about him. And he's done a really good job. I think he's the leading receiver as a rookie right now. But he's got so much more he can show us. He's got so much more. And it's on us to get it to him, and make it happen. But he's going to be just fine, just some maintenance work. Christoph Page suffered a minor injury in practice. And we thought it was just best for our future well-being. It's one of those injuries that rest is the best cure for it. And so felt like this was a game he could rest that. We have a bunch of guys, that can step up and play on that side of the ball. And then KJ Smith, a little nagging injury that he had in camp. We didn't even know if he was going to make it to the first game with, and then felt better and played well. And then against Vegas last week, it kind of just stuck with me when they mentioned it was the same one on the same, part of his body. And I was like, goodness, I just didn't want to play with it. He was ready to go this week, he said, but also had a good back in Sheen Butler Lawson, who's, done everything asked of him, comes in, works his butt off every day. And it's nothing against KJ. KJ's a great player, so it wasn't like he got benched. I just told him I think it's best you rest up. First, let's see what Sheen's got. Sheen's a heck of a ball player, has a heck of a college resume, was runner-up for the Harlan Hill Award at Minnesota State, rushed for a ton of yards. Good back, though. And like I said, as we shore up this front, y'all see a lot more of the run game. As much quarterback-minded as I am, I do believe there's a time and place for that. And right now, we're just having a hard time getting it going, driving guys off the ball, just some missed assignments type stuff. But we're going to get it cleaned up. But KJ, I think, will be good to go as well. But a few of those, like I said, are minor-ish. And if you got depth, right, which is a good problem to have, when you got depth, it's it's a long season. It's a marathon, not a sprint for sure. We're only a quarter of the way through the season. That's quarter one. We got 12 more of these things, guaranteed ones, right? The ones that are on the schedule. And And you want to be playing your best ball as the season goes on. You don't, and like I said, no championship. I don't care. And I'm not just trying to make it sound good, right? I'm not one of those. I'm a straight shooter, but no championship was won in April. None, zero. I've seen 4-0 teams end up not even making the playoffs. I've seen 0-4 teams winning championships. I've seen it done in my 10-year career. So it is a good thing, right? You want to win early so you're not chasing late. That's an old-fashioned rule. That's real. And you want to win the ones you're supposed to win, right? So I'm not happy or satisfied where we're at. I do appreciate the effort and just the way guys constantly competed. You never saw us just drop our heads, even against Vegas. It wasn't ever a lack of effort with a minute left in the fourth quarter, down 20. It was never that. And I'm a firm believer in trusting the process. We do everything we can as a staff, to get better as well. And they do the same. It has no choice but to get where we want it to be. 16 guys, I believe, are in their first year. I might have to check with some changes of the roster, but I believe we have 16 in their first ever year in indoor football. Once again, no excuse. Part of, the main thing of coaching is teaching. So we need to be really good teachers. I just want hungry guys that love the game and are playing for something bigger than themselves, right? I'll do the rest. Coach will do the rest. All their other staff. We'll teach you the game. We know you can play football, but we'll teach you this game because it is unique. It is very different than any game in the world. It is way different than the outdoor football game. So getting them up to speed, it's just fun. It's fun to see, man. And I got to look at it out of that eye as well because I've been pretty hard on them. But they've done a lot of really good that you can build off of. And the bad is very fixable, if that makes sense. It's very fixable. It's not a personnel. It's not just we're not that good. It's not like we're just, it's very fixable. It's a few little execution things. It's us being better as a staff. It's everything. So I'm excited where this thing's headed, though.
Well, Coach, I appreciate the time you spent with us. I have one more question for you before I let you go. Got two road games looking at us on the schedule now before we come back home that we can work on those things that we need to work on. But speaking about being at home, and Ralph and I will talk about this a little bit later once we let you go, but I wanted to get your opinion before you go. Struggling a little bit with the attendance. It's very it's been a bit concerning for myself as a fan and seeing where we're at versus where we've been at other times. In your opinion, what is it that we need to do, or what can we do as fans to kind of get more people to come out and see what this experience of this indoor game that you're talking about actually is and how much fun it can be? I mean, what are the challenges? What do you think it is about this year that we're just not getting those enough people in the seats?
It's that's $1 million question, really, because a lot of people struggle with that, but we are struggling right now. I do think, and I know we're going to a school Wednesday, I think we can do a better job as the football team, being more out in the community and in the public throughout the week. That way you're not just a jersey and a helmet, covering your face out there. That way they know you as a person. I mean, y'all, I appreciate y'all's comments and saying I got a cool story, but these other guys got really cool stories, right? And when you get to, everybody loves a feel-good story. Like some of these guys, the adversity they face, that's what I love about this game specifically is indoor ball, right? This ain't your dream out of, when you're laying down at night as a kid and looking at the ceiling fan and saying, I'm going to the IFL, I'm going to the NFL, I'm going to this. So their careers had to take some kind of detour and some kind of adversity had to strike for them to end up here. So that's why I have so much love for this game is you get a different kind of breed of football player, if it's done the right way. You can get some knuckleheads, but it's like you also can get a guy that, they're not doing this for the money by any means. They're not doing this for the fame. They're doing it because they love it and they have, for the bigger picture, whatever their why is, right? And that's always good to get to know. But I think we can do a better job just being out there in the public. And it's just I hate, it's not an excuse, but it's the indoor stigma. It's all these different ALs or FLs or whatever that pop up I've seen it for a decade, right? And respectfully, teams that have played in San Antonio, playing in barns with dirt and, all the different things, and they're considered indoor football. So if you saw that for your first time, that's what you're mind is set on of what indoor football is. So it don't matter if we're on Yahoo Sports Network and our broadcasters also broadcast the SEC championship game and the NFL and everywhere else. They don't think of it like that. They think of it as, oh man, that's my biggest pet peeve is when they say, oh, y'all play semi-pro. No. This is professional football. It's in its own world. It's the G League to the NFL. No, it's a whole different game. I saw NFL superstars come to the Arena League and do absolutely nothing, just a regular dude, and then you see superstar arena or indoor football players don't make it in the outdoor game. It is two different worlds. It don't take away from what they did out there and what you can do in here, but it is, man, it's special. And I hate that because that's I worked the whole rodeo, right? Saw thousands of people. I still was weirded out that so many said who, what, when, where, what, never heard of it. I'm like mind blown by that. It really blew my mind. But then too, it's like, oh yeah, I watched the team, 6-7 years ago and they played in the dirt and it just wasn't it. They didn't, they used cattle panels for walls and and it's no shot at them guys either. I respect anybody that loves the game of football and wants to play football. Any chance you get, do it. It'll all be, there's a shelf life for it. So do it while you can if you love it. But it does take away from the professionalism of what the IFL brings now. And I wasn't always just the IFL support. I played in the IFL, wasn't where it is now. It was the AFL back then. And then the NAL took over for the AFL. San Antonio was a part of the NAL whenever it was in a good situation, very competitive, a lot of really good teams when the AFL folded. But in the reality, as much as, I kind of played more of that game, this is it, man. This structure, where they're trying to take this league is everything I wanted as a player. Everything. That's why I tell the broadcasters now, I thank them so much for what they're doing. And they're probably wondering why. Like, it is everything a player. Why? Okay, you're building your brand. You're nationally getting exposure. You talk about wanting to move on, get out, whether it's in football or in life, you're building your brand. You get sideline interview. That's like an interview for a job. If you go out there and
that
say
is
the
cool.
wrong thing, that is forever on the TV. That is forever found. If you're out there cussing so-and-so or bad-mouthing or acting out of pocket, guess what? You're on national television. So it is a way to, play the game in front of more eyes, right? They had an IFL stat. I don't want to butcher it. Y'all can look it up, though. Yahoo gave some numbers to the IFL about viewing the other day. And it was honestly Tucson Naz versus New Mexico, or Tucson versus New Mexico. Two of the bottom tier if you're looking at records, right? And it was the craziest amount of views they said they've had in I don't know how long. So it's obviously becoming attractive, right? And when the old Arena League with the Talons and such were really booming and the stadiums were packed and all that, was the TV deal does that, right? Now you get bigger sponsorships and all the different things, and teams are able to do more, pay more. The quality of play, all of that starts to grow. But back to your question, sorry, it kind of all rolls together though, I wish I had the answer because nobody knows how much I want this game alone to be successful. I love.
Did we lose?
Dropped. We
lost Coach Bain there for a second. We'll see if he comes back.
Well, I might be able to finish the thought, Leo.
Go ahead.
This is the best version of American football. This is the best thing. I don't even watch the outdoor game anymore. I don't watch college. I know.
Sorry, fellas.
I'm the wrong guy. I was just finishing your thought, Coach, about how this is the very, 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 very best version of American football is the one we play. That this is the best version of American football.
Yeah, no doubt, and it's good.
Me?
Yes. We can hear you.
I cannot hear a word y'all
You can't hear us.
Hold on just a second. Maybe back out, come back in.
Worth a shot, Coach.
If you want to try it. But it's good. It's good to know that, as an organization, the Gunslingers and the head coach, that they are as passionate as they are about the sport and bringing things to a new level for the community, to enjoy and be part of. Hey, Coach Bain, welcome back. Can
Sorry,
you
there
hear
we
us?
go. My
All
laptop
right.
had died on me, so I'm on the phone. But sorry about that. But yeah, I was just saying like how much I love this game. I want to see it
Mm,
succeed so bad. Uh, and part of that getting fans in the stands. I mean, you see it kind of a lot of places. You know, there's a few that have that solid group of things, but a lot of those cities that do have those big fan bases don't have a lot going on in that city either, right?
hmm
No
Right.
offense, they're not as attractive as San Antonio with all and especially with Fiesta Week. Um, just all the things, and not trying to make excuses, but my whole goal is to try to figure out for all people's sake. I wish I had a hidden recipe that made it I could share with everybody, every team, right? I want every team to succeed because
hmm
that's what makes the league what it is. And
Right.
but we can do a better job. Just back to it, owning up. We can do a better job as the football side of things on the team. For one, winning. I'm just being honest. So you got to don't ever forget I was born and raised in Texas, right? We
hmm
like to win. We don't like to lose. I'm a Cowboys fan, if that helps you at all. Um, and I ain't buying season tickets. Just know that. So I'm a fan, but I'm not buying season tickets. But um, no, we can do things on our end. I think getting out in the community more. I want to try to do that and see who I can kind of get with on those types of things. Getting the guys in the community. And again, I think that's huge for them in life because I mean, who are we if we don't share what we have, our testimony, our experiences? You never know. And what I miss the most, it was a big thing when I was coming up in the arena game was going schools and reading and doing all that, helping the troubled youth, all the different things. And you wouldn't believe how much of an impact the players do have on anybody and grown folks as well, right? Just hearing a story or anything. And to me, that's what we're on this planet to do, man. We're in a vehicle called football, right? You get to use that as your vehicle. Really cool. Man, it's awesome. It's a blessing. But you get to reach so many people. And I mentioned it before and I won't ramble on, but through my neck injuries, right? I received so much love that really made me realize why I even did what I did, how long I did it, other than just the love of the game, was the love I got. Never talked about a touchdown, never talked about a championship, an MVP trophy. It talked about an experience they had with me and without me even knowing, of just trying to be a light, and that's what they brought up. And I'm telling you, it meant nothing more. You talk about fulfilling. It meant more to me than any touchdown pass, any record, anything.
Mm,
Uh, and I think everybody in life should search for that kind of fulfillment. And it
mhm,
can come in many different ways. But I want that for our guys just as much as I want that for the organization and fans in the stands and everything else. So I've kind of got it both sides here, and I want to try to help make it flourish. So I'm actually been brainstorming and trying to figure out ways to do so, because everybody benefits from it. It benefits from the player side, it benefits from the fan side, the organization
mhm.
now benefits from it, and it's just it's like a win-win, right? It's like what the heck is where's the missing link? It seems like everybody wins, but definitely will be a focal point moving forward.
Yes, sir. Everybody wins. The San Antonio Gunslingers organization wins with their first win. The players win. Coach, you win. The fans win. It's a win-win all the way around this week, and we thank you so much for joining us. I was just
Yes, sir.
mentioning to Ralph while we were having some difficulties trying to get back on and join us, how as a fan, first and foremost, a fan of this organization, how blessed I feel to have an organization and you, a head coach that has this much passion for the sport, and it's evident to all of us, and as well as a desire to really entrench this organization as part of the San Antonio community and culture. 6 years now going strong, this organization, back from, like you said, the barn with the with the dusty
Yeah.
floors and lots of people going, what is this?
Right.
um to growing to what it is now in the IFL, the top tier league of all of indoor football and the indoor war. And 6 years going strong, and I don't see this organization going anywhere. They're in for the long haul. We're having our struggles getting people in the seats, but I honestly think that as word spreads and as we get more involved in the community, both the organization and the fan base, spreading the word, there's nowhere to go but up.
Yes, sir.
And the product that the Gunslingers give the San Antonio fan base is second to none.
Yeah.
You can have more fun in those 3 hours inside the Freeman Coliseum at a lower price than you can anywhere else in the city for 3 hours. Cost to fun value,
Right.
you can't beat that. Some people might. I'm a Spurs fan, and some people might say right now, "Hey, these Spurs are, the way they're doing right now, it's kind of fun." But value, you ain't getting anywhere. You can't touch. You can't touch what we can offer at the IFL and the Freeman Coliseum and these San Antonio Gunslingers. So, wish you nothing but luck over the rest of the season, Coach. 1 quarter down, 3 more quarters to go, like you said, and we're looking forward to more dubs
Yes, sir.
for the organization and that push for the playoffs. So week by week, good luck next week in Tucson.
Appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for having me. I really do always appreciate it, and I'll try to make it on as much as possible, even answer any kind of questions y'all have on our end. I really do appreciate what y'all do. It just goes on to like the commentators for the games, right? It's what y'all do. Y'all are spreading the word, getting us out there, and I can't thank you enough, the diehard fans and everybody supporting and commenting, good, bad, or ugly. I appreciate it all. I really do. And Ralph, it's so good to see you behind the camera again. Missed you, man.
There are
I feel
things
like that's all I
working.
knew you as at first, and then now.
There
No,
are
it's good to
things
see you.
working, and God is going to do what God is going to do, and we're going to see what God's going to do, and it's going to be great.
Awesome. God's always gonna pull through. So
Yes, he
appreciate
is.
y'all. Guns up. Y'all have fun. Appreciate what you do, and we'll talk soon.
Guns
All
up,
right.
Coach. Thank
Guns
you.
up, baby. All right.
Well, awesome.
A great interview as always from Coach Bain. Never shy for words, never short of words or shy to tell you what he really thinks about a situation. First quarter of his rookie season as a head coach, although he said he was a head coach once before for 2 games. I don't know if you call that interim, but we'll say as a rookie head coach in the IFL.
He was keeping together the Desert Hawks with baling wire and spit morale and duct tape. At the end of the season, there was just so much that was going on there, and they had to have somebody in charge. You had to have somebody to blame. And Jonathan Bain is not afraid,
No.
because he could have been afraid at any point. He could have quit at any point. He has faced things that I don't wish upon anyone else. I don't even wish them on Jonathan Bain, but he's been through it, and he's a witness to perseverance.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And just his outlook on this, I know because I talk to fans and I get messages from fans all the time during the game, after the game, in between and during the season. It's really nice to hear from our head coach and have him kind of echo the exact same sentiments that I know a lot of the fans have right now. That he's got the same concerns the fans do. He's got the same pride in this organization and how he represents himself and how the team represents the city of San Antonio that the fans do. He listens to what the fans say. I think he's shown on multiple occasions. You had Jessica Palmer just a while ago thanking him for a difference that was made in how the team represented itself in a tough situation compared to a week ago. And last week with the team being much more engaging along the wall and the fans within the Freeman Coliseum. I don't know if you saw that, Ralph, but that was a criticism that I told him personally with these new guys not knowing, like, hey, it's okay to interact with fans while you're on the field in between plays, obviously, but it's okay
Right.
to interact with fans and get them engaged and get them pumped and excited. It's okay. And in fact, that's part of your job as an IFL football player. And a lot of guys didn't understand that, I thought, it being their first time. The next home game, which was the game against Las Vegas, it was notably different.
Yes.
And there was a much more a much higher effort on the players' part of engaging fans and getting them pumped up and being on the wall and showing their appreciation. And that comes from coach, no doubt, 100%. That comes from coach. So I think it's great to have a coach like that. Philip has said in the past how appreciative he is of having a coach that actually listens to what people like us have to say. They don't always do that.
No.
and
No.
and actually,
Let's not name names.
we won't name names.
We will.
But,
I could think of a few guys. Anyway, who would not be inclined to listen to their local broadcasters at all. Did we want to talk about what's coming next year, about these next 2 road games?
Yes. We have coming up on the 2nd Saturday. So, hey, a little bit different here. It's prime time football. The last few Saturday games have been kind of earlier in the day, and this is a 8 p.m. Central kickoff in Tucson at the Sugar Skulls. Pretty important game.
This is absolutely a critical game because the Sugar Skulls are a team that we are battling with to get into that last 4th position. I really like how Vegas looks this year. I like what Mike Davis has done. Absolutely phenomenal team. They came in and scorched us. Nate Davis is doing well with the strike force. It leaves us battling with Arizona and with Tucson to see what we can possibly do. Yes, the sugar cookies. Thank
The
you,
Tucson
James.
Sugar Cookies. Thanks for the correction. You're right.
And we have, folks, we've never lost in Tucson. We've never lost to Tucson. I don't want to start now. But this is, as Chase Risman said, this is the one time we're playing them this year, and we need it. Oh, April Marie Trotter is right on time. Should we mention the formatting of the watch party?
Oh, yeah. So
okay, folks,
you had some you had some breaking news before we came on live about that, Ralph. So I'll let you go ahead and break that. But yeah,
right,
April
Chase.
Marie
we lost at home. Yes, I meant in Tucson, Chase. Yes, technically. Yeah. All right, folks. Here's the deal. I ran into Matt and Henga of Matenga's Pizzeria on the way out after it was discussed on this show about, hey, do we have a watch party? And it's like the team is really, really busy. Very, 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 very busy trying to put this up together. So I invite everyone who is a Gunslingers fan to show their support for the San Antonio Gunslingers at your nearest Matenga's location. All Matenga's locations you can come and see. But the big one where they're thinking about, and if we get a lot of feedback, Leo, if they're telling you, I'm coming, RSVP right now in the chat, let us know. And it'll be at the 3009 location where we used to have that other show that no longer exists for that first year we had it. And so we've got the big screen TV, we've got other TVs, and you've got the greatest pizza in all of San Antonio. And you're going to be hanging out with a few Gunslinger fans. If it grows too big, well, we'll have to find another venue. So it's up to you, Gunslinger fans, to see you at Matenga's 3009 location. And come out and let's see what there is. So, yeah, I talked with Matt. He's expecting people. Don't let me down, folks. I said y'all were coming.
Got to go now.
Yeah.
Got to go now. You're committed. Ralph committed all of us. Hey, you know what?
I put my challenge coin down on this one. I don't have it in my hand right now. But, yes.
Yeah, I will say, as your friendly neighborhood panzon, I know it looks like I'll just eat anything you put in front of me, but I do have some reservations about that. I am a little picky when it comes to food. And if you are a pizza person and you like pizza, Matenga's Pizza is, I tell you, that's some of the best, if not the best pizza in San Antonio that you could ask for. So you definitely go for the great pizza and to watch our gunslingers along with some of your fellow gunslingers posse. I would definitely recommend it. I don't know what Lolis is always getting after me about something. I don't know. She says, "Oh my gosh, Leo," because I said I'm
Jessica
a
says
Hanson.
a flyer needs to be made. Well, you have seen the need, make it happen. Absolutely, make it happen. Yeah, Jessica Palmer saying a flyer needs to be created. Absolutely. Okay, April May Trotter will be there. Jessica Palmer. Yeah, go ahead and make a flyer. I mean, this is Facebook. This is the channel. Use your social media.
Yeah.
Forward it to the organization. They'll probably put it out, but don't expect them. This is our team. We are the fans. We're going to be the ones that do this. I mean, shoot, there's other teams in other cities that the fans just get together and put together candy packages and so forth for them to go on the road, and welcome package of soap and laundry detergent and all that other stuff for them at the hotel when they come in for camp. There's a lot that we can do.
Yes.
Details. Oh, the actual location is FM 3009 Matangas. I guess I could pull that up on my random search here while Leo is talking, because I'm not all that good at multiple tasking.
Okay. Yeah, the 3009 location, that is over off of 35, just north of 1604. Now, as Ralph said, if that's too far from whatever side of town you're on, I encourage you to make the drive, because if enough people show up, it ought to be really, really exciting to be there and enjoy the pizza and watch the game. Um, but if not, as Ralph mentioned earlier, go to any Matangas, and because there are several locations throughout San Antonio. I can't go off all of them and name them all, but if you go onto Google and look up Matangas, go to their website. There is a list of multiple locations. I lost count how many it was a while back. They've just they're popping up from different places, but the 3009 location is definitely one of the bigger ones.
6044-3009, and I put that in the private chat, Leo, so you could paint this over. Yes, watch party this weekend at 6044 FM 3009 in Schertz, Texas, right next door to the Walmart. Exit 35 at 3009. Head west, young man, away from the HEB and towards the Walmart, and it'll be on the right-hand side at the first light. If you get there fast, you can park around back. If you go to the right side of the shopping mall and drive around back, that's a cool place to park, or in the main parking lot, wherever it is. There it is. Smoking Gun Podcast has it up there.
Yep.
In both Facebook and we've made this happen. We've made this happen, and I guess that's where I'm going to be on Saturday. I won't be sitting home alone on the couch anymore. I'll have to come out. RC Woods checking in from San Diego. Hey,
From
RC,
Sandy.
wish you were here.
Yeah, we missed you. You missed a great intro. I don't know if you caught it, but you're gonna have to go back and watch the beginning and see the Smoking Guns podcast intro, Ralph Judkins and Leo Yama style. Oh, and Richard Autry style. I should really
we
say
style. I didn't know we had style. we're just going with it. And after that game, I don't want to get too far in the future. We go to Prescott and face the Naz T Wranglers in Prescott, and that's an 8 p.m. That's the Finlay Toyota Center, and so that means it's going to be 2 weeks in a row. Well, I guess next week we'll have to see how it went, and then you'll get to comment on the review here of how the watch party went, Leo, and we'll see if we do this again or it evolves. But folks, we could stand to create a president of a fan club of the Gunslingers through this our meeting. This is our meeting room, and it is going to be up to us. We cannot wait on the team to do it. The team is focused on winning football games.
They got enough on their plate.
The team is focused on getting the fans in the stands. The team is focused on the product on the field. It's up to us, the fans, folks, to be the fans and fan out.
Absolutely. And I can tell you, I will be there. Lolis has made the decision that we are going to be there, as James Palmer says, She said, "We'll be there," which means I will definitely be there. Sounds like Chris Martinez is going to be there. He looks forward to
Great.
it. A lot of our followers are commenting, so I think we should have a pretty decent turnout there at the 3009. And I do like this idea very much of maybe getting someone to be a president of the official fan club that we can maybe
Official,
lean on or
so much responsibility. We'll just say we are the fan club. Bring a jersey. What about cowbells? Let's make an executive decision. Do we want to
Ooh.
bring our cowbells to that 3009 location?
Bring the cowbell, but be respectful of other patrons there eating their pizza. It's
Yes.
different ringing the cowbell while someone's sitting next to you trying to enjoy their dinner and conversation with family than in the Freeman Coliseum. I will
We'll see
concede
what
to
Matt and
that.
Hanga have
So
to say. We'll see what Matt and Hanga have to say.
exactly. We'll see how that goes.
No
James Palmer
regrets.
saying he's going to leave his cowbell at home, but we'll see. April Marie Trotter likes the cowbell idea. She's like, hell yeah. We'll see how that goes, but it sounds like it'll be a good time for sure. I'm happy and excited to share this news with the fans, Ralph, because people have been missing the watch party experience. So many thanks to Matt and Inga at
Yes.
Matangas and everyone involved for stepping forward and offering that availability at their restaurants. So thank you so much. Two games in a row on the road.
Yep.
Must win situations, Ralph.
I must win, I think, only if the focus is postseason. Folks, we haven't made the postseason in the IFL. We made it once in the NAL. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. There's a lot of really good teams. There's a lot of football to play. I like where we are for where we are. We have a young team. We have an aggressively talented team, and we have an offensive line that might come back to us. Or Jonathan Bain will figure it out, and we will have the players. And look, how many times have we gotten sacked? How many times have we had hurries? How many times have we had, I mean, even if the guys may not be the best and greatest, and even if we want other guys, maybe they're getting it done. The quarterback is getting the ball out. They're distributing it. It makes it a little hard to run. But if that's it, where are we weak? If we patch the O-line, where are we weak?
And that's another great thing to take from the interview with Coach, because in order to fix a problem, you must first acknowledge that the problem exists. And Coach Bain had no qualms about acknowledging that is a deficiency on the team and a primary concern. So the fact that he is verbalizing that to us, he doesn't have to. A lot of time coaches will not go that far.
Yeah,
but that's one of the things.
Be mysterious.
Yeah, that's one of the things we appreciate about Coach Bain, and for him to actually pinpoint that specifically as an area concern, just as it is for the fans that watch these games and notice these things. That's really encouraging, if you ask me.
Would also be encouraging. Hey, I'm pretty sure there are people with the organization. They have to pay people to come out, but hey, if we can get a 6-shooter or so out there, if we can get the sheriff out there, I know it's tough to eat pizza inside a costume, but hey, absolutely. This is a fan event. We don't require the team to be there. This is for us. Let's go. Let's have fun. Let's eat pizza. Let's drink beer responsibly, and let us be fans together at Matangas.
And you know what else to bring? I mean, it's been a challenge to us, like actually issued to us as fans, to bring a person to a game. And maybe sometimes, San Antonio being what it is in a working, blue collar city, people are hesitant, reluctant put out their money for a ticket for something that they might be skeptical of or not quite understand, but bring them to a watch party. That's free
Oh,
for them
yeah.
to go to,
Oh,
and
yeah.
they can enjoy some great pizza. So bring a friend to this watch party that's never been to a Talons game. You know, if you're not able to entice them into Freeman Coliseum and indoor football because they're like, what's that? I'm not so sure. Well, they know what pizza is. I guarantee you that. And you tell them you're bringing them to a party with some good pizza, and there's going to be a lot of great people there. You know, that should make things much easier to bring people out to this sort of environment and introduce them to what the San Antonio Gunslingers organization is and what this fan base is about. So yeah, I think that's a great idea. An appetite, James Paul. Yeah, bring an appetite too. Don't eat before you go.
It's 8:00. It'll start at 8:00. It's gonna
Oh,
mess up your cholesterol. It's gonna mess up your blood sugar. It is a sacrifice all fans must be willing to make for for the sake of having fun.
I said Talons game. I can't. I'm reading the comments. The
No,
Talons
no.
game, and then
Chase mentioned. Shout out to Bane for mentioning the Talons.
yeah,
No, no. I
I'm
mentioned
a.
the wrong team earlier. You've been good. You've
Oh,
been
okay.
good.
I assume from reading the comments that I slipped and said, to a Talons game a little
Nope.
while ago. I might have. I don't know.
Nope. 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 Nope.
San Antonio
Oh, you
Gunslingers
did?
is
Okay. Blame your wife.
don't argue with Lolis. Yeah, she says I did. I must have. She's always right. So, um, yeah, Gunslingers is definitely the team that we're supporting. I mean, Talons. What's that? They're
Well, they're
uh,
talented.
yeah. There you go.
Dad joke. Had to do it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We got it. We got it. You can beat him up. You can beat me up. Okay. We're
Hey,
humbled
man,
and
I'm 50.
humbled.
I'm a 50-year-old fat guy. You'll have to excuse me when I start thinking about pizza. My brain just doesn't work as well anymore. It's more focused on the jalapeno and pepperoni.
Hmm.
That's exciting news. Thanks for bringing that. That's all Ralph. Ralph brought that breaking news to the show and to me before we came on live, as well as the excellent Gunslingers
How are we
theme
going to
from
distribute
Richard
that?
Autry.
Is that something that can be posted and downloaded off of your Facebook page or something like that for the show? We have content.
Yeah, that's a good question. I will look into that. Once we leave this show, for anybody that missed it, we will sign off ourselves,
Yeah.
but I will leave the podcast live and play the song once more as an outro so everyone can hear this song that everybody was hyped up about at the beginning of the show. Um,
Tyler liked
but
it.
yeah, Tyler, did he comment?
No, he didn't. He at the game.
Oh, at the
Because
game.
in
Okay.
warm-ups, I got CJ with Texas AVL to put it in the lineup, and it was spun once in the pregame because Tyler said
Oh,
he wanted to have the Freebird intro as his walk-on pre-kicking music, and I said, hey, well, what about this one? You might like this too as an edit and a cut, and played it, and he said, yeah, that's pretty good. If you missed it, you missed it, but we're going to play it again, and maybe you'll get sick and tired of it. I mean, the other thing I'll tell you, Leo, the other vision I have visions all the time of delusions of grandeur. Uh, I have a thought of we end the game with a country gospel sing along to Seven Spanish Angels
oh,
as we are playing in the Valley of the Gun, and that would be a going away thing. Yep, you have the
hmm,
details right, Jessica. Flyer, it's 8 p.m. is kickoff.
yep.
Get there early for best seatings and get your pizza order in. I did suggest to Matt that he might want to open up the buffet, but I don't think it'll be open this time because we got to have the numbers. We got to prove the point before it's worth it. And the
Yeah,
buffet, oh man, have
yeah.
you been? Have you ever been to a buffet at Matanga's, Leo?
I have not, but yeah, probably doing that in this situation would be a bad idea. They may close down the buffet. I don't know what their buffet hours are. I've been at
Oh,
Matega's at
it's
all
not
hours,
open in the evening.
but
It's
as
not.
soon
It'd
as
be
they
a
see me
special
coming,
thing.
they probably shut it down. They see me through the windows because of glass doors, and they're like, "Up, shut it down, quick!" And I don't blame them. I do not blame them one bit. But yes, thank you, Jessica. I could see that she's making the flyer. She's going to post that on Facebook, and other people are going to take that and share it out in their social medias. Much, much appreciated. Oh yeah, Lolis, we did, true story. True story. We ordered, it was, I want to say 22 extra large pizzas for a baby shower that we
Oh, the
did for my
tailgate.
daughter.
The
No.
the tailgate pizza, the one that's the really,
Mhm.
really big box, because that thing's insane.
Yes, yeah, the huge one, the extra large. Yeah, we
Yeah,
ordered
you
a
could take
bunch of those.
yeah, you could take like 6 of those and put them on stilts, and you have a deck cover. I mean,
Yeah, well, we were expecting a lot of people for this event, and we still over ordered. It was a way more pizza than we thought it would be, but it was delicious. People were gladly taking pizza home. So if you have not been to Matanga's, come and definitely enjoy the game and try that out, and get people to come with you, um, for sure. Um, yeah. So anything else, Ralph, that you wanted to discuss or talk about before we sign off for the night? I think we're near Philip Higginbotham minutes
yes,
here,
we have
which is
exceeded
dangerous
expectations.
territory. Yes,
Yeah, I
yes.
was thinking, hey, we'll be on here for an hour 10. It's like we
uh,
get rolling. We get rolling. No, I did a great show, and I'm very happy for the number of people that chatted. That we'll see you all Saturday, and maybe we're going to start something here. But if it's going to happen, it's going to be up to you, the fans. We cannot rely on the team to create fan events for us, because they got to pay. They got to pay people to do
mhm,
this.
that's
We
right.
do this. We do this for the love of it. Like the players play for the love of the game. We got a fan for the love of the game. We got a fan for the love of the Gunslingers. Let's do it, people.
That's right. Well, I got to thank you, Ralph, for joining me for this episode. Knowing that Philip and RC had other commitments that they couldn't get out of and weren't going to be able. I mean, Philip is driving, so you can't do a podcast while you're traveling for sure. And then RC had her engagement over in San Diego. We missed you, RC. But
Oh, big time.
I know, Ralph, you wear many hats. You do many things. Is there a personal project or something you're working on right now that you want to share with the people now that we have them that you can tell them about, or are you kind of taking a break right now?
What if, folks, there was, instead of radio, there was a certain three-lettered orange organization. I can't say any. I can't say anymore, because it's really going to be what the team wants to do. But what Coach said, he said many things. Is this is all about exposure, and I'm willing to work for exposure if given the opportunity to put together a really, really, really good broadcast team, like Texas Hall of Fame broadcast team on one half. That would not be me. And present this so you could hear it anywhere and you could hear it in an archive. Uh, that's that's all about that. And I'm going to continue to fan out. If nothing else, I will continue to go and enjoy the game if nothing else happens. Because, like I said before, God is sufficient. Oh, everything is what God wants it to be. If he adds to me,
Mhm.
he adds to me. If it takes away, he takes away. Uh, God is everything, and it is sufficient. So we're hoping for more. We're thinking about more, and we'll see what happens. I'm not going anywhere. The team's not going anywhere. But we need to go somewhere. Otherwise, we'll be talking here for hours.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I got to thank you again, Ralph. We are the Smoking Guns podcast. Thanking you, Ralph, for this joining me once again. And then I have to thank the people that make this show go, that
Yes.
help us, and have been helping us, for some time now. Our patrons that really make all of this possible. And we are so grateful for them and their help in our efforts with this thing that we call the Smoking Guns. I gotta send my thanks to Robert Seco, Mo and Iris Ferrante, James and Jessica Palmer, Jay Washington, Jordan and James Stubing, and Kim and Greg Nelson. thank you so much for your contributions and what you do and continuing to be patrons and friends of the show. It is truly greatly appreciated. Philip tells you time and time again how much we appreciate that and what we're able to do with some of that, besides keep the lights on and, you know, pay for the software that we use and keep the show going. But as well as, you know, helping the youth as we can with the camps and stuff like that. Thank you again so much. We really appreciate that. Appreciate your continued support. That's it. That's the show. Another episode of Smoking Guns Podcast. Can't wait for the flyer and all the information and the upcoming watch party. This has been Ralph Judkins and Leo Yamas. Talking about the best experience in the indoor football league, which you can't find anywhere else but in San Antonio, with the San Antonio Gunslingers. Bang, bang. Had to do that myself there. And we will leave you with Ralph Judkins' Glare. And as we leave the stage, as promised, that song one more time. Don't go anywhere. Listen to this. If you didn't catch it before, catch it now, or just catch it again because it's that good. Bye, guys. Thank you. Guns up.
Ladies and gentlemen, load up your lungs and your loyalties, 'cause riding into this arena tonight, here come the Gunslingers. Here come the Gunslingers. Hands high, scream the name. Steel hearts, trigger fingers. They don't play, they claim. From the dust to the danger, they own this whole wide range. Here come the Gunslingers. Let 'em bang, let 'em bang. Hey! Black hats, bright glare, boots stomp, crowd stare. You feel the chill when they walk through the air. One shot, dead silence, then a roar from the stands. They turn pressure into gold.